Hello, everybody. This is Gerald Celente, and it's Tuesday, June 13th, 2023. And pretty soon, in just a few hours, your new Trends Journal will be out. And here's the cover. Yep. Nord Stream attack, Kremlin attack, dam attack. Only believe Zelensky. He can play the piano with his penis. Yeah, that's right. Not making that up. This is the guy that is the president of Ukraine, that in a sitcom, he played the president of Ukraine. And also in a sitcom, he played the piano with his penis. So everything he says, I should believe. Again, we just sent out a trend alert yesterday to all our subscribers about the media. And all they're doing is selling us one-sided propaganda. And it's nothing new. Remember that Saddam Hussein has weapons of mass destruction and ties to Al-Qaeda. That's right. That little arrogant, murderous president who should be brought up on war crime charges, George Bush, who gave us the Iraq War. There were no weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, but that's all the media promoted. And they're doing the same thing with this war. This dam explosion, again, writing in details in your Trends Journal, the Russian guy said that, the Ukrainian captain said, oh yeah, Russian bodies were floating down the street because the Russian troops were in control of that dam and the hydroelectric plant there. So why would they blow up their own thing? And this has hurt them. And it's cutting off water going to Crimea. But just like they said that it was the Kremlin that blew up the Nord Stream pipeline because they didn't want to send gas to Germany. Now, wait a minute. The sanctions already cut off the gas from Germany. Look at the destruction that this thing did. This has hurt more of the Russian territories. Same thing. One lie after another. They attacked their own Kremlin with a drone so they could give an excuse to, ramp up the war against Ukraine. So there is no news anymore. Los Angeles Times has been going down the crapper for a long time, as the other ones, the Chicago Tribune, one after another. USA Today used to be a great newspaper one day back in the 90s and early 2000s, just a little rag of nothing now. They just fired the 10% of their staff at the Los Angeles Times. There's no more media anymore. They're giving you one-side bullshit. The little prostitutes, media whores. They get paid to put out by their corporate pimps and their government whoremasters. So what's all the big news now? Trump, 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 Trump. What does this mean? It means absolute bullshit. Yep. Has nothing to do with trends. We are the only magazine in the world that gives you trends analysis and trend forecasts of the current events forming future trends: geopolitical, socioeconomic, environmental, high-tech science, one after another. AI, cryptos, technocracy by the brilliant technocracy guy, Joe Duran, who has a new book out, Be Human, Essays on Countering Transhuman Self-Destruction. This is his new book. I mean, this is the guy putting the technocracy. What we're giving you, you're not getting anywhere else. So let's go on to the economy, because that's what everybody's bottom line is. Hey, it's the economy, stupid. That was the campaign slogan behind the scenes in the Clinton campaign back in 1992. That's the same thing now, and it always has been, except when they get you to war. When all else fails, they take you to war. So going back to the economy, tomorrow, the guess is like 94% of the street is guessing that the Fed's going to keep interest rates steady. That's going to be good for the equity markets, and it'll be good for gold, although gold prices went down today, because the dollar is going to start to weaken as they lower interest rates. But they raised interest rates last week in Canada and Australia. And now China today is lowering a number of their rates because their economy is going down bad. Their 3 years of zero COVID policy has really brought it down. So going back to the States over here, the inflation numbers came out. And they were what the street guessed, around 4%. But the core inflation is higher. So now the guess is 44% are guessing, will they raise interest rates in July? And this is the little arrogant boy who said there was no inflation. It was only temporary and transitory, along with her. And again, anybody get it in your head, these are the freaks running the show. She was the former Fed head, and now she's our Treasury Secretary. So what does this mean? It means that with the Feds running the government, because the former Fed head is the Treasury Secretary, they're going to start lowering interest rates in the run-up to the presidential reality show of 2024. And again, my forecast, RFK Jr. is going to be the next president of the United States, minus a wild card event. There's always the wild card that you can't predict. But other than that, the people are tired of Biden. They're tired of Trump. And it's just a clown show on both sides of the shitheads that are running. A piece of pencil shit Pence, the little slobby, arrogant piece of scum crap Christie over there in Jersey. Oh, now Godson Gavin Newsom is playing the Democratic role. Oh, yeah, the little dictator over there in California that closed down everything. As the rich little boy is partying up at the French Laundry for $400 a plate as he tells all the plantation workers of Slavelandia to lock down. And you did a great fucking job in San Francisco. Yeah, Deadland. Oh, they're closing down that big mall now, huh? Oh, those hotels closed down now, huh? Oh, you have an office vacancy rate of 30%. Hey, I'm Gavin Newsom. I'll make things better for you. I'm an arrogant bastard, and all I want is power in a country near you. And RFK Jr. isn't that kind of guy. And that's what the people are looking for. So back onto the economy and back onto your Trends Journal. The economic overview in this Trends Journal that's coming out in just an hour or so, we give you the facts of what's going on and where it's going. Again, with the U.S. Treasury borrowing another, trillion, the unemployment claims are better than expected? Not really. And by the way, once upon a time, there were diamonds are a girl's best friend. The jewelry business is going down. Yeah, not a best friend anymore. And by the way, I was brought over to South Africa to do a talk for De Beers a number of years ago. I know where this trend is going, and they're not saying it, and they're not saying the why. Well, they're saying some of it. So, and then again, when the economy goes down, jobs go with it. This is our 43rd week of listing the really important job numbers that are not being listed by the mainstream media. What's going on in China? Ukraine war trend update. Yeah, one of the articles. Moronic mainstream media. Russia not only blew up dam, but intentionally drowned its own troops. The counteroffensive that's going on in Ukraine. Winners and losers. FBI work to silence war critics. Oh, isn't this great? The United States is supplying, now they're saying they're going to sending depleted uranium shells, weapons, bombs away to Ukraine. The UK already sent them there. So where are all you little fucking gutless libtards who love the Ukraine war? You couldn't fight your fucking way out of a paper bag. You little libtards that are all, oh, we need climate control, but keep bombing this shit over there and send depleted uraniums, and your little shitheads got lockjaw. Oh, depleted uranium is great for the environment, Celente. And that's why we don't eat meat. We just swallow shit. What else? Oh, featured guest articles by Dr. Joseph Mercola. And when it comes to the economy, the great Gregory Mannarino. Global debt crisis? We're in one. That's right. And again, only magazine in the world that does this, presidential reality show. What's going on and what to expect. Again, Trends in Technocracy by Joe Duran, Trends in Cryptos, Trends in the COVID War. What's going on with that? Again, all the things that we warned about. All the things that we warned about. Lockdown casualty. Kids in the U.S. are beating up teachers after returning from pandemic closing. It's not a pandemic. We've put quotes in pandemic. Again, 99.91% of the people are still alive from the COVID war. And again, the facts show who died, mostly the elderly and people with pre-existing comorbidities. Trends in geopolitics. Again, what's going on? Trends in high-tech science by Ben Davis. And now your new sections. Trends in AI. AI, we own you. And don't forget how much you know I love these little scumbag, arrogant pricks. And I can't say the other word. Call politicians. So this is the way I feel about them. Here's your shirt. Hey, politicians. Yep. Who the fuck are you to tell me what to do? In the back of the shirt, hey, politicians. So go to trendsjournal.com, trendsjournal.com, and get your shirts. Go to the shop list there. They don't show you the back of the shirts on there, but we just showed you. Here they are. Yep. And get your Trends Journal if you want to know what in the world is going on. It's $3.86 a week. The toilet paper records for the New York Times, $4 a day, $5 a day for the Wall Street Journal, the prices of these things. And they're giving you nothing what we're giving you. We're the only magazine in the world that helps you prepare, prevail, and prosper. The only magazine in the world that gives you history before it happens. You know, I was going through some old articles. This is the Trends Research Institute, which is the company behind the Trends Journal, the Institute. And back in a story, it was brought over by New Zealand a number of years ago, 2006. Yeah, this is from their business day. Trends guru sees niche bonanza. New Zealand should be looking at designing products for an aging population. You ready? Developing a new era of fuels, self-sustaining houses, and innovative clean foods to export, a United States trend expert says. Gerald Celente, director of the U.S. Trends Research Institute, is in New Zealand at the invitation of the New Zealand Trade and Enterprise, talking to businesses about possible future niche markets. You got it? New era of fuels, 2006. Way ahead. Clean foods. All right? I'm going through this stuff. I haven't looked at it in years. The New York Times did a big story on it. I don't have it here. Here it is. Here. Boom. 1993. Gerald Celente has coined the term clean food diet. In the winter issue of the Trends Journal, Mr. Celente, director of the Trends Research Institute, described the clean food diet as something beyond organic, a new standard for health and reliability. And I go on to explain what clean foods means. We're giving you what nobody else is giving you. This is just a little part of it. You look at our forecasts. This is for just this year. The office building bust. Oh, now you know what they're saying in Montreal? 25% office vacancy rate. Vacancy rate. Meaning nobody in the offices within the next 2 years. Toronto going down big, and that's the most office buildings in Canada. It's all over the world. Office building bust, we're the first to call it. The AI, we own you. Digital trash to digital cash, on and on and on. So anyway, go to trendsjournal.com, trendsjournal.com. And again, your Financial Times, all over the world, Yeah. This is from Turkey. We're giving you what nobody else is giving you. So, and also help support us with Occupy Peace. The rally that we put on, and you can see the video up above on the Gerald Celente channel and the Trends Journal channel. There's no rally has been put on like that in America or in any part of the world. You show me one, and I'd love to see it. As I said, you show me, there it is. That's before it started. But look at the beauty of the garden. The Crown Garden. Look at the dove in the background. That's all steel. It's huge. That's where it was held. Behind the 1750s Franz Roggen House. So go to occupypeace.com, occupypeace.com, and donate. Could you imagine if the billionaires donated? There's the Franz Roggen House. And across the street over there, that's the 1774 Academy that I own. And that over there is where the cupola is, was the county office, where the Constitution for Kingston was written, which was the first capital of New York State, and over 70% of America's Constitution comes from that Constitution. So we're doing everything we can to give you the best we can. So it's up to you to do what you can to bring the best that you want. We're in this together. United we stand, divided we fall. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget tomorrow, Celente and the Judge, Andrew Napolitano, a man one of a kind. See you tomorrow.
At the Trends Journal, the best investment you could make, because it's the best investment into your mind, and it can change how you look at the world.
Over the last 30 years, Gerald Celente has been more accurate about predicting what would be happening than anyone else I'm aware of.
The Trends Journal is one of the greatest sources of information, and and it really is. You're predicting these things well ahead of time. I would encourage everyone to go grab the latest copy.
But Trends Journal subscriber for 20 years. I just have to commend you. What you guys have put together in your latest Trends Journal, there's nothing like this out there.
Sir, everything that you predicted about the economy, you were absolutely right. So I have followed you all this time. So please take a look at the Trends Journal.
You correctly forecast that the Fed would hike rates quite aggressively, correctly said that initially gold and silver would drop as the Fed starts to raise rate to 1.5% and above. When we spoke last, Bitcoin was around 49,000. You said you expect to drop, and if it drops below 30, 35, then it could really drop.
Trends Journal, which I would encourage people to go and check out. It's actually a 200-page document, pure data-driven analysis.
Gerald Celente, the top trends forecaster in the world. Gerald, you had an interesting call back in September of last year. You said gold had bottomed, which is exactly what happened. And here we are, and we're above $1,900.
Subscribe to the Trends Journal. Read history before it happens at trendsjournal.com.